This is Reasons We Serve, a channel dedicated to those who serve. This is episode 100 with the Medal of Honor nominee and Navy Cross recipient, United States Navy SEAL R.J. Thomas. Jeff Cooper, the father of the modern-day technique of the pistol, once wrote, "A pistol is a weapon of astonishing efficiency and versatility when skillfully used, but its skillful use is rare. This is odd when you think of it, for while the pistol is commonplace throughout the civilized world, only the merest handful of men, now or in the past, have ever approached the ability to make it do what it can. A really good man, wearing a really good sidearm, is a serious, almost insurmountable problem for any person or group which contemplates his forcible correction. He may be safely taken with poison gas, a tank, or precision rifle under certain circumstances, and that's about all." On March 23, 1969, United States Navy SEAL Robert R.J. Thomas was flying in one of two Seawolf helicopters that were on a scouting mission near Nha Dang Mountain in Vietnam. As the helicopter approached the mountain, they came under heavy weapons fire and were shot down from about 300 feet with no time for the helicopter to auto-rotate. RJ was hanging out the side door on a gunner belt when several rounds came through the helo, fragmenting and hitting him in the chest. As the helicopter hit the ground, RJ was thrown about 40 feet from his helicopter. RJ was stripped of his sidearm, and his Stoner 63A machine gun had been bent, rendering it inoperable. He had compression fractured vertebrae and multiple impact wounds to his torso, knee, and hand, and his nose was nearly torn from his face. RJ made his way back to the helicopter, which was now on fire. RJ was able to drag the unconscious pilot, Dick Barr, from his seat and drag him away from the flames. It was at this point that the second helicopter landed and was able to drop door gunner Dan Reardon to assist, and both were able to get gunner Rick Abbott free and away from the helicopter. They were unable to save anyone else as the fire engulfed the helicopter. According to one observer, the enemy fire looked like a bare, dusty field that was being hit by a hard rain. The enemy began moving toward the survivors to kill or capture them. As RJ observed his surroundings, he realized that the only thing he had left to shoot was the pilot's 1911 A1 .45 pistol. The pilot had two fully loaded magazines, as well as a chest strap with an extra 45 to 50 rounds. Shielding Barr's body with his own, and using Barr's body and helmet as a stable platform, RJ began shooting the oncoming enemy. At some point, Barr regained consciousness and began loading magazines for Thomas as they went empty. One thing in RJ's favor was the fact that in order for the enemy to get to him, they had to come over a dike about 100 yards away. Each time the enemy would stick their heads up over the dike, RJ would shoot them. RJ was able to hold off the enemy for nearly 40 minutes with a handgun. A rescue helicopter was finally able to land, and as RJ gave a final push to load Barr into the helo, his back gave out and he fell to the ground. It was at this point that an enemy fighter had rushed to the front of the helicopter where there were no weapons. As the fighter raised his rifle to shoot the rescuing helicopter pilots, RJ shot and killed him with his .45. RJ was finally able to make it back into the helicopter and took over the gunner's position and the M60 machine gun. It was at this position that RJ delivered more retribution for his fallen comrades before the helicopter flew to safety. It should be noted that as the rescue chopper came in and landed, its crew noticed many dead enemy soldiers on the ground. Their distances from the downed helo were from about 3 to 150 yards, all shot by RJ with his M1911 .45. For his incredible courage under fire, the Army nominated R.J. Thomas for the Medal of Honor, but the nomination was denied. The Navy declined because RJ was an enlisted man and believed the first Medal of Honor should have been awarded to an officer. Thomas was instead awarded the second highest Navy medal, the Navy Cross, after acknowledging that Thomas had only killed one enemy soldier who had charged the helicopter. In addition to the Navy Cross, RJ was also awarded the Bronze Star, Combat V, Purple Heart, and Cross for gallantry. RJ Thomas retired in 1995 as a commander. He won numerous firearms matches in the military and as a civilian. He qualified as a distinguished marksman with the handgun and rifle, and for years was acknowledged as the best shooter in the Navy. Thomas is known for instituting the Naval Special Warfare Sniper Program, and the people who worked for him say he was one of the best leaders they ever worked for.